A cockroach freezes mid-step, not paralyzed, not injured in any visible way, still fully capable of walking normally, but it doesn't run. A wasp, less than an inch long, approaches, takes hold of one of the cockroach's antennae, and begins leading it away like a dog on a leash. The cockroach follows willingly, walking under its own power, straight toward its own death. This isn't science fiction. It's a documented, repeatable behavior performed by the emerald cockroach wasp. And the mechanism behind it is one of the most precise pieces of biological engineering ever studied in an insect. The process starts with 2 separate stings, and the order matters enormously. The first sting lands in the cockroach's thorax, briefly disabling its front legs for a few seconds, just long enough to prevent the roach from fighting back or fleeing. During what happens next, that's the setup. The real precision comes with the second sting. The wasp inserts her stinger directly into the cockroach's head, guided by sensory structures on the stinger itself that let her feel her way toward an extremely specific target. 2 clusters of neurons deep inside the roach's brain, responsible for controlling its escape response. Researchers studying this behavior, including neuroscientist Frederic Libersat's lab, identified that the venom delivered at this exact location doesn't paralyze the cockroach generally. It does something far stranger. Here's where this stops looking like an attack and starts looking like something closer to a surgical procedure, because the venom specifically blocks receptors tied to a neurotransmitter called octopamine, essentially editing out the roach's motivation to flee without touching its ability to walk, balance, or move normally in every other respect. The cockroach isn't paralyzed. It's still fully capable of moving under its own power. It simply no longer wants to. Its normal ability to detect danger and initiate an escape response has been surgically switched off, while everything else about its behavior and its body remains completely functional. That distinction is what makes the next part possible. The wasp bites off roughly half of one antenna, drinks the hemolymph, the insect equivalent of blood, that leaks out, likely gaining a burst of energy for what comes next. Then, using the stub of that same antenna as a handle, she leads the fully mobile, fully compliant cockroach toward her burrow, sometimes over a distance many times the length of her own body, with the cockroach following at every step, making no attempt to break free despite having every physical capability to do so. Once inside the burrow, the wasp lays a single egg directly onto the cockroach's leg, then exits and seals the entrance with debris and small stones, trapping the cockroach inside. And here's the detail that turns this from unsettling into genuinely disturbing. The cockroach doesn't try to dig its way out. It could. Physically, nothing is stopping it. It simply waits, still alive, still capable of movement, entombed by its own compliance. Within a few days, the egg hatches and the larva burrows directly into the cockroach's body, beginning to feed. Researchers have documented that the larva consumes the cockroach's internal organs in a specific, non-random sequence, avoiding vital organs for as long as possible, effectively keeping its living food source alive and fresh for as long as the larva's development requires. The cockroach remains alive through most of this process. It has no ability, and by this point, no drive whatsoever to resist any part of it. After roughly a week to 10 days, the larva completes its development inside what remains of the cockroach's body, forms a cocoon, and eventually emerges as a fully grown adult wasp, ready to find its own cockroach and repeat the exact same sequence. What makes this entire process remarkable isn't cruelty, and it isn't random violence. It's precision. A sting placed with pinpoint accuracy into a specific cluster of neurons, a venom cocktail that edits one narrow behavior while leaving everything else intact, and a host led calmly to its own extended death by an animal roughly a tenth of its size. Very few surgeons operate with that level of targeted precision, and the emerald cockroach wasp does it entirely on instinct, in complete darkness, in under a minute. If you found out something could edit a single specific urge in your brain, leaving everything else about you completely unchanged, would that scare you more or less than losing control entirely? Tell me your answer in the comments, and subscribe to NatureCrest for more deep dives into the animal kingdom's most extraordinary and most disturbing survival strategies.